Good afternoon, and welcome to the Snakebite, your home for FSC Athletics. I'm Slinky Jones.
And I'm Megan Price. Here's what's going on in the world of FSC Athletics. The softball team had a tough series against St. Leo as the Mocs were shut out twice over the three-game series. In the second game, the Mocs picked up a 4-0 win after losing 0-1 in an extra innings game in Game 1. They are on the road this weekend where they will take on Palm Beach Atlantic. The baseball team fell to 19-15 overall and 5-10 in conference play after dropping 2 of their 3 games against the Rollins College Tars over the weekend. The Mocs picked up a 9-7 win in the Friday night game before losing on Saturday and Sunday with final scores of 6-8 and 1-3 respectively. Our own Jillian spoke with Mocs hitting coach Steven Crabtree after Sunday's game. Here's what he had to say.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Coach Crabtree. And Coach, in Friday's win, you had weather delays of over 2 hours. What was the team's mindset going into a 6-hour game?
It was just basically just trying to keep them loose and relaxed. It was, something that's very unexpected as far as, waiting as long as we had to wait. But it's just trying to keep them loose and keep them focused once we got back out and kind of regroup and go from there.
Awesome. And then as far as base running goes, the team has been excellent in stealing bases. Was this something that you guys focused on during the off season?
Yeah, there's many things that we work on throughout the fall and even into the early spring as far as in January and everything else. And base running is always a key one because it always helps out the offense as far as helping runs and getting pressure on the defense and everything else. So it's something that we do take a lot of pride in, and we always talk about running hard and doing little things as far as that's concerned.
Awesome. And then in this series, you took on one of the 3 games against Rollins. What are your thoughts on the team's performance?
There's definitely things that we could have done better, and those are obviously things that we'll talk about come Tuesday in practice and everything else. But it's just day in and day out, just trying to worry about the little details and winning those things. And some of those things we didn't do quite as well this weekend. So it's just something we're just going to have to continue to talk about and keep working on.
Yep, and then so you guys take on Florida Tech next, and what are you looking forward to going into that series?
Just looking forward to our guys coming out and competing and trying to win every pitch. I mean, that's something that we talk about all the time is, the little things matter, and those little things are just being mentally focused on every pitch that comes our way and, just trying to get our guys ready for that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach, and back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Jillian. Slinky, you were at all of the games this weekend. I know Friday was a little tough, so
Yes.
How did the boys play over the weekend?
Friday night had a little delay because of lightning, so we was stuck for 2.5 hours just about, and I think the game finished just around 12. That's when we left.
Midnight? Wow.
The boys, like I said, they persevered through everything. Austin Hubers hit a grand slam that got things rolling right out of the delay and kept them ahead. But Saturday night, we jumped off early on them, and we just never could get over the hump. They came back, I believe, around the 5th inning, hit 4 runs or something like that, and just held on to the lead.
Well, one game is a good game,
Yes.
right? Well, the Mocs will be back in action this weekend taking on Florida Tech. Let's check in now on beach volleyball. The beach volleyball team was shut out by both the University of Tampa and Florida Gulf Coast University in a doubleheader this Saturday. The Mocs took on St. Leo at home yesterday, and a recap of that game is available on fscmocs.com. They are back in action for their regular season final today at 4 p.m. at the Ruthven Beach volleyball courts.
In women's lacrosse news, the Mocs improved to 11-2 in the season after defeating number 2 Rollins 16-11 on Wednesday and Embry-Riddle 21-10 on Saturday. The game against Embry-Riddle was senior day for the Mocs and was also a 130th career victory for head coach Kara Reber. This year's senior class included the last remaining members from the 2016 team that won the national championship. In total, 9 Mocs scored in the victory. The girls also swept the SSC Player of the Week honors with Riley Bannatyne winning Offensive Player of the Week and Sam Keesley winning Defensive Player of the Week. The Mocs took on St. Leo last night, and that recap is up at fscmocs.com. They traveled to Ohio for games against Tiflin and Findlay this weekend. The men's lacrosse team fell to 7-6 on the season after suffering blowout losses against Tampa and Rollins on Wednesday and Saturday. The Mocs will be taking on St. Leo tonight at 7 p.m. and are back at home for a 1 p.m. game on Saturday, where they take on Embry-Riddle in their senior day game.
The women's tennis team improved to 13-5 after defeating Eckerd 6-1 on Friday before being shut out by number 2 Barry on Saturday. The win against Eckerd was the 200th career win for head coach Trish Riddle. The Mocs will be playing at home today in a 3 p.m. game against number 43 Rollins and will be on the road this Saturday against Florida Tech. The men's tennis team split their 2 games last week, being shut out by number 1 Barry on Saturday before beating Eckerd 6-1 on Sunday. They will take on Florida Tech in a 2 p.m. road game this Saturday before returning home for their final game of the season next Wednesday against number 12 Rollins.
In men's golf, the Mocs finished 9th out of 17 teams in the Argonaut Invitational last week in Pensacola. The Mocs will be competing in the Sunshine State Conference Championship this Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday at St. Leo. The women's golf team finished 3rd out of 11 teams competing in their part of the Argonaut Invitational. Amanda Gartell won SSC Player of the Week honors for the 2nd time this season and the 3rd time in her career. The Mocs will also be in St. Leo this Sunday through Tuesday competing for the SSC title. Thank you guys for joining us this week on the Snakebite. Andrew and Camille will be here with you next week at 3 for the last show of the semester. I'm Slinky Jones.
And I'm Megan Price. We'll see you next week.